Good afternoon, James. You're floating head. That's cool.
Here we go.
Hey, no floating heads from James. It's the club call. We're on a bit early because these two fine gentlemen are going to the Everton under-21s game against Dortmund this evening at Walton Park. You can go yourself if you're quick enough and you get down there. You've got a season ticket. If you've seen ticket, you can get a ticket for nothing, I believe, as well. So why wouldn't you want to go? Or a club member. Yeah. So why wouldn't you want to go and watch some European action tonight?
It's a nice day. Just go watch some footy, Go watch Everton.
And you don't have to watch Liverpool then.
Yeah.
You don't have to watch Liverpool anyway.
No, I know, but
it's not like it's
temptation. You can support Everton.
There's no temptation. No one's watching Liverpool tonight.
The hate watch.
It's not a hate watch, is it? Nobody's watching Liverpool tonight.
It's always a hate watch.
It's not though. I don't know why you'd even think about watching them play tonight.
I would think about it.
No.
You just want to watch Aussie, man.
Aussie, man.
Aussie, man.
Is there any game worth watching tonight?
Yeah.
Apart from Evan.
Barcelona's one.
I'm not watching that.
Or just watch Spurs get...
you can watch Spurs get their hearts imploded.
Yeah. Let's see if Atletico can make it double figures.
Yeah, Barca kicks off at 5:45 though, so you just can't watch it.
We can.
We've got phones.
You've got dodgy phones.
You got dodgy phones?
A dodgy app.
Oh, have you? You have to share that with me. I haven't got a dodgy app. Not that I would have a dodgy app. I would share it to tell the police about it. Clearly, I would go straight. I would go.
It's not even my phone. Me probably.
No, I'd go straight to the people and go, people, this is dodgy. You need to sort this out. This is terrible. Young people are having their mind. This is why social media must be banned straight away, because they're watching games of football and it's terrible. Yeah, that's where these two gentlemen are going. They're also slightly hungover from drinking last night as well, which is also a disgrace.
Was it a good thing?
Going out on a Tuesday to drink is terrible.
We were talking about this on the non-Everton podcast, which people should watch. And you were like dead proud of us for.
I was like, yes, the lads.
And I was like, yeah.
Yes, the lads. Yes, the lads. Well done. Get out there and wind people up for going out on St. Patrick's Day. But I know that you both will be out on St. George's Day. Oh, you'll be straight out, won't you? James has got.
I should put my flags up.
He's got chainmail. He's going to go out in chainmail for St. George's Day. He can't wait. St. George's Day, and he's actually going to wear a mask of Tyreek George while he's out there as well.
Nice.
That's it. Chainmail and Tyreek George.
George Orwell. Yeah.
Some might say we live in a George Orwell sort of society at the moment. But James is going out dressed as Tyreek George. I don't know how that's going to go down.
I'm doing the full length.
Full length. That sounds so bad.
I'm going full Tyreek George.
Full Tyreek George.
Socks.
And
you even going out with
shoes often with they never go full Tyreek George, but James is going for it. Yeah, we'll leave that there. If you want to give us a call on anything, please do. I've got a feeling that nobody's going to call us tonight.
Yeah,
I've got a feeling that absolutely, absolutely no one's going to give us a call. But you can book that trend by giving us a call. Yes, Tyreek George cannot play on Saturday for Everton. Let's make that very clear. Let's draw a line under that. Tyreek George is not available for Everton on Saturday when we played Chelsea, who obviously were beaten in the Champions League last night.
Yeah. What was the score?
It was 3-0. They had their arse handed to
8-2.
8-2 on Aggregato.
Hate to be them.
Oh my day.
Hate to.
You ate to see it.
You ate to see it. I like that. It was even better that it was in.
Why didn't I get that reaction?
Because he did it with an accent.
That's just his accent.
The accent made it work. That was, you know what I mean?
It was a different.
It was like so he was coming up against Jason Bourne. And
you hated
James. He's just broken Jason Bourne's leg and gone, "You'll hate to see it." I don't know why that had any reference to Jason Bourne or losing 8-2, but Jason Bourne had an apartment in Paris, so it's a.
You just know everything about Paris and love Paris.
I've been to Jason Bourne's apartment in Paris.
Paris.
Oh, yeah, Paris.
No. Yeah. What have you made of the Senegal situation, Jay Carbo?
So I didn't really find out about that till just a couple of hours ago. So is it because they walked off the pitch?
Yeah.
I mean, that's just...
I mean, they would have found some other excuse. They would have said, like, Njai's socks were too low or something. Take the trophy off them.
I think it's just like... Remember when football was 11 players per team on a pitch kicking a ball?
What a time to be alive.
You know? I think it's just like now it's just crap. Pardon my language, but it's just... You know, teams getting transfer bans. And it's a bit contradicting because that's where, you know, my degree is in. So like sports business and all of that. But I just don't enjoy it. So you don't enjoy the thing that you're hoping to do for the rest of your life? I'm going to make it so people do enjoy it. So you're going to change football? I'm going to be the hero. He's going to be the hero. First thing he does when he comes in, he gets his first job. I declare Senegal the winners of the 2025 African Nations. And then get a big wax thing and go put a big wax stamp on it. Nice. Yeah. Why did you make me sound like I was like 80 years old? Because that's by the time you get to that position, you will be 80 years old. Thanks for that. The year will be 2065, and you'll be like, I don't think the map is on there. I do declare that Senegal are the winners. You've also become from the deep south in America, and you wear a white suit like you were the KFC man. You're like, I do declare Senegal the winners. So I'll do that in 60 years when probably all the players are dead. I'll be like, I've had this. Something's been bothering me for quite a long time. My burning ambition has been to make Senegal once again champions of Europe. Again, accents bang on. Accents bang on. I told you he's the KFC man. He's become the KFC man. What happens to you? Colonel Sanders, that's what he's become. I do declare. Yeah, exactly. No, that'll be my first. What do people call course of action? No, course of action. Call of action, yeah. First call of action. That's it. Declare Senegal the winners. Do you know that Speed meme when he's just like this? That's me, right? Wonder what Speed would call Senegal. Senegal. It makes them sound like they're in Harry Potter. Professor Senegal. No, it's nuts, isn't it? I reckon once it goes to the court of arbitration, they'll get it back because it's actually breaking so many. It's breaking basically the #1 rule in football is like you can't go against IFAB. Only IFAB can basically declare that. IFAB are in control of the rules of football. Okay. So they're basically the people in charge, and there's nothing in the rules that basically says if you walk off the pitch, it's the referee's decision. So how come this has been? Because it's all just seems very, very shady, doesn't it? Sketchy, it seems very much very slim, very shady. I mean, that tournament, they had questionable credibility just from years prior where like referees just making poor calls. So people like have... Let's not forget why they walked off the pitch. Yeah, exactly. So like this tournament does not help the like image of African football. Yeah. Essentially. Yeah. When African football actually has been getting a lot better, a lot more professional, and actually hosting it where they did and it was really, really good. But it's a farce, and there's nobody on earth apart from obviously Morocco who agree with it. Everyone thinks it's the wrong decision, and it'll get overturned. And what's really funny is seeing the reaction of the players, and I've seen Njai's before, Njai and his wife is like they're just doing a little video with like the song. And basically, they're just laughing. They're basically saying, come and take our medals off us. Malik Diouf, come to Everton, posted on Instagram, what was it? It was in French. It was like... You going to translate it? I can. Go on, translate it then. Something like football games are won on the rectangular blade of grass. I think he was saying the pitch. Yeah, but that's what he was referring to. But he called it the rectangular blade of grass and not over emails. which I thought was nice one.
You can't just put a statement out and that just like turns around an entire tournament. Like they didn't cheat. Okay, they left the pitch for 20 minutes, but they didn't cheat.
But then
We've seen this,
like you said, why did they leave the pitch? And then you go,
and then we've seen obviously Everton have put a tweet out today backing obviously the two players. It's a farce. It's an absolute farce.
Yeah.
And as I said, it'll go to the sporting court of arbitration, and they will go through. They will go through the rules, like the proper rules. Yeah. And they will find that no rule was broken, and therefore Senegal can't have it taken off them. It's like when certain people in the world decide that they don't have to play by the actual laws of the land, and then it goes to the Supreme Court and the Court of Appeal.
Yeah.
And they go, no, mate, you might be in charge of this country, but you can't just decide what the law is and what the law isn't. And then they get very pissy about it. There you go.
Just, I mean, I also saw just the internet's reaction, I think, says it all. And there was one thing, I think it was 433 on Instagram put out in their normal match graphic of results. Morocco win African Cup of Nations, score 3-0, and then the goals 90 plus 2 months. So I
like it. It's the deepest we've ever been into injury time.
Yeah. No, it's just.
No, it's a bit. It is a bit. It's very. It does leave you with it does leave you with a nasty taste in the old mouth about football and stuff. But ultimately, they'll appeal. They'll make sure that all their. They'll make sure that all their everything's above board when they appeal, and it'll go back to the original decision. I can't. And I also I think in life as well, we all have nobody's sitting here now going, well, that makes Morocco the winners. Everyone's no, Senegal won it. Yeah. So it might say that on a piece of paper somewhere, and it might even say it on the trophy, but it doesn't matter.
Even the players, they're not throwing their toys at the and have any of the Moroccan players come out and been let's go, we won? No. So I don't think they even I don't think they even feel like they won it. It's just football always finds a new way to be weird. It's just
it finds a new way to be the centre of attention, doesn't it?
Oh yeah,
finds a new way to be centre of attention. Obviously, Chelsea played last night, as you mentioned, beaten 3-0 by PSG. Their coach is now under a little bit of pressure. There's talk that if the results don't improve, that that 6-year contract might be worth very, very little. Everton could certainly help with that on Saturday, couldn't he? If we go into that game with the right mentality and we've won a game at home now, so let's put that behind us. There's the Bush welcoming. Kicks off at 5:30 on a Saturday afternoon. Nice. Could be a really nice day. Could be set up to be a big game for Everton if the players turn up and do the job that we saw it last week. They're capable of if they can just find the finishing touches.
I mean, it's the whole Rosinia. Is that his name?
Rosinia.
Yeah, it's. I feel like I've used this word so much today. Strange. I don't know. It's. I just think he. Just the same argument I use with the Spurs players. They didn't really. He doesn't really have a track record.
Yeah.
He was at. We were talking yesterday about Premier League proven players. Club like Chelsea, you'd hope they have a manager who's either just excellent manager elsewhere or been in the Premier League and kind of done it.
Yeah.
And he's done neither.
Do you think that football, you've mentioned that word strange, but do you think football is so strange now that we, as people who watch football, if he was sacked, let's say Everton win on Saturday, right? Sunday they say he's been sacked, right? And I'm not sure if that's a real thing or not. But do you think that that's how mad football is now, that we'd all go, yeah?
Yeah, I think managers can and we saw with Forest, West Ham, managers get sacked so quickly. And what's strange is, and this is one thing I've never really, there just seems to be this manager merry-go-round.
Yeah.
And it's always the same one. Like, only in football can you be sacked basically implies you're bad at your job, or you did your job poorly. And so only in football can managers be fired and then hired so quickly. Like it's there's no logic, but no one would be surprised if he's sacked. I mean, when he came in, I thought to myself, and I think many people thought the same. It was more likely to go badly than well.
Yeah.
He was never gonna win the champion or win the Club World Cup or Champions. It was just.
It just seems really strange though that for any club to bring for any club that wanted to, like they sacked the guy before because he was at like loggerheads with people at the club, certainly medical staff. And one of the things I sort of heard mentioned the other day was that one of the reasons why he was sacked was he wanted to play James all the time.
Yeah.
And he was being told that he couldn't because they knew that, and we know now that he's injured again, isn't he?
Okay.
Reece James. So they knew that Reece James had these injury problems and he can only be played so much, and it's about extracting the most from him without getting him injured.
Yeah.
And the manager was going against that and basically wanted to play him in every minute of every game. And the medical team were basically saying, you can't. He will get injured and then he'll be out for like 6 weeks. We have to be clever with him. And the manager just wouldn't listen to them. And that was one of the reasons he got the sack. Now, I don't know whether that is the reason, but that was one of the things, is like, people above him were like, you have to listen. He is a really important player for us. They've just given him a new 6-year contract now. He's a massively important player, but we understand that he can only play so many minutes, and he just wouldn't listen to them. So they've brought this guy in, who they've obviously had at Strasbourg. They're obviously looking to mould him into being what they want. It just seems really strange that they wouldn't give him the time. And I just think this is mad in football as a whole. Chelsea, yes, there's pressure on, but I don't think there's loads of pressure, because I think there's a pressure inside Chelsea, this thing of like they must be winning all the time, when everyone else is like, it's just Chelsea, no one's asked, mate. But there's this, I think we've come to this weird place now where it's like, well, if you get sacked, you get sacked. What does he expect? And it's just like, this can't carry on, can it? This can't carry on where if you don't bring immediate success,
no one gets given time anymore.
Yeah, but like
managers,
but like, I can't fathom that out though, where you go, this fella hasn't even had a transfer window. He's been given all these players. He's trying to work his best system. He started really well, let's not forget that. And now we're in a situation where it's like, we'll just sack him if he loses 3 on the bounce or 4 on the bounce. And it's just like, if you're not good enough, that Chelsea team's not good enough. It's got the goalie's terrible. Yeah. All of the goalies are terrible. There's no experience in the team whatsoever. Yeah. So I think they lose their heads. They don't have anyone to like calm them down, or And I think like this is where football and clubs like Chelsea need to just grow up.
I think it's what's strange is they sack him, right? Or any manager that gets sacked after a short period of time, it's just all on the manager, and no one thinks, hold on, what about the person that hired him? Like if Rosinha gets sacked, the people that hired him, they like no. Yeah. I think I'm upset with them then.
Yeah.
It's like when It's like when Everton appointed Rafa Benitez, right? Terrible appointment. And when, I never expected it to go well, but when it didn't go well, I wasn't like, he was a poor manager, but I wasn't like, I was upset with the people that appointed him. That does, but it's a good point you make on hasn't had a transfer window. It's like, what did they expect? Instant success with a young manager.
And that's the point, though, also from like a fledgling coach, someone who's clearly got good ideas. He was at Derby when Rooney took over at Derby, and when Rooney saved him, didn't he, from going down, and then he left. I think he got the job at Hull, and it sort of, people questioned Rooney and were like, why, from then on when he was coaching and going, why isn't it as good as when you were in Derby, when you were picking up loads of wins? And one of the reasons was because he didn't have him. He's supposed to be a fantastic coach, a fantastic tactician, but like, surely you've just got to like leave him in place and let him do his job. But I mean,
literally and this clip went kind of viral, but when he first joined, he literally said like, managing, aging, whatever players, like that's, to me, that implies long term and development. Yet there has to be instant success.
Yeah, it's crazy. And what is instant success? Because okay, they got knocked out of the Champions League, but they got knocked out by the holders.
It's PSG as well.
Okay, they got knocked out in the semi-finals of the League Cup. They're still in the FA Cup, aren't they?
Yeah.
So there's a chance of winning something, and he's got to try and get them top 4, top 5 to get back in the Champions League. So anyway, if you want to give us a call, the link, if you're on Toffee TV Premier, the link will be at the top of the page, and if you are a YouTube member, there'll be a link there as well in the members bit as well. So if you want to give us a call, that's how you give us a call. It's not a number, it's not a phone number, it's a link. You click the link. That's how you give us a call. But Saturday for us, the centre forward situation's going to be interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, for me it's...
What does he do?
For me it's James will laugh, but for me it's just been dead simple all season. Play the player you signed, that you showed 25-30 million pounds worth of faith in. Play him. We were talking just now about development and people needing time. This even goes hand in hand with what we were saying yesterday. You don't sign for 35 million. You don't sign a player who's going to get 20 goals in his first season. For that money, you have to spend 70 million. So the fact that he's got the amount of goals he has doesn't surprise me. And Beto is there's no... I love Beto and I love his effort and all of that, but he's leaving in the summer. So that leaves one option, because you have to play a striker. Play Barry.
Do you think the manager will...
The manager will play Beto.
No, but do you think the other stuff that went off, what happened on Saturday, will have any kind of influence on the manager's decision making? Because I think by Beto putting stuff on social media, Barry putting stuff on social media, he has opened the door to criticism from fans, and I don't think Moyes will care one bit.
No.
But he has sort of created an issue between him and some of the fan base.
I mean, we don't know what really happened, but say Barry was in the wrong. I think Moyes is old enough, mature. He's going to put the team out, the best team out, to win the game. And if he thinks that's Barry, I think he'll play Barry. I think Barry made a mistake. Slipped up. right? Many footballers have slipped up in many kinds of ways, you know? It's just about reaction, and it's down to him. So if he starts on Saturday, and after what happened, and he's like not up for it, not putting in the work, then that's one thing. I think it's down to him, but I don't think there should be any sort of punishment not being allowed to play.
Yeah.
You know?
No, I don't think there will be any kind of... I think what he's done is silly to inflame the situation. And I wonder whether if he... I suppose the argument is that if he hadn't inflamed the situation or made it public, basically, I do wonder what would have come out of that whole thing. Like, would it have been videos going around the internet of something happening in the away end, and people on the outside going, Everton fans fighting with each other? Would Everton fans have clarified that situation, and then maybe Barry would have reacted to that if he'd seen people talking about something happening in the away end that concerned friends of his? It's
out of interest, just for both of you, regardless of sort of the stuff that happened off the pitch with like his family or whatever, but just performance.
He was terrible. He was absolutely terrible.
Performance based. Do you think Bethel should be starting over him? Because I do.
I thought Barry was absolutely woeful on Saturday. Like proper, like absolutely. I think part of the reason we lost that game was because of Barry, and I genuinely believe that you need someone up front who's going to stop the opposition from getting the ball from A to B, and then B goes to C, and then C ends up in the back of the net. You have to delay that first part as much as you can in when you're playing a tough game. Don't get me wrong, I think Moyes' subs played into that as well. I don't think he helped. I think players should have been coming off after 70, 75 minutes, not coming on at 85 minutes when it's too difficult to get into the game. We spoke about that the other day. The numbers of the two players who came on are like, there's nothing. There's like a couple of passes. But I think if you come on with 20 minutes to go in a game of football, or 15, whatever it was when he came on, you've got to be prepared to work your bollocks off and make something, not make something happen as such, but stop the opposition having an easy ride. And he didn't. I thought he was truly woeful on Saturday, Barry. I don't think Beto was much better. Essentially for that game on Saturday, we played for 10 men. With 10 men. For the most part, for the most of that game, we played with 10 men. And to put out a display like that with essentially 10 men, that showed how well we played as a team. But for me, and I've said it all season, and I'll repeat myself over and over again, we need someone up front who's got a little bit about them, who understands how to do that job. And if it's someone who comes off the bench, or it's someone who starts games, we need another one. Like you said before, Beto will likely leave because it's either give him a new contract in the summer or sell him. And I don't think they'll give him a new contract. So
we've got a caller.
Okay.
We've got Keith.
Let's get Keith on.
Hi, Baz, you okay?
Go on, Keith.
It's with regards to the actual programme, you're talking about should there be changes for the weekend? Personally, I'd be quite happy with the team we put out. I mean, they did well enough, you know. So, and it's the old story, isn't it? You know, if our team's fairly successful, then why change?
No, absolutely.
We know Moyes has a habit of doing that. But that's one of those. The reason I actually came on was slightly different. It's to do with the Chelsea situation, and the non-penalty that they've had. This afternoon, I actually watched another podcast, which was literally discussing the Chelsea and the options of sanctions and what have you.
Yeah.
And it turns out that there's actually no punishment to Chelsea at all. It's not, they're all saying it's £10 million penalty, but the way Chelsea was purchased, any profit of the sale is going to a Ukraine charity. So all it means that £10 million sanction just means it's £10 million less that charity gets.
Yeah.
So there's actually no sanction to Chelsea whatsoever. And what they did when they bought the club, apparently they held back 150 million in case there were any sanctions.
Yeah. That's incredible, isn't it? I mean, they knew exactly what they were doing when they were buying this club. I remember when the whole thing happened, it was actually Everton were playing at home, and I remember it coming up saying Abramovich had been sanctioned and basically they were going to have to take the club off them. And obviously we felt we were well, some people were worried that would happen to us, and some people were praying it was going to happen to Mashiri. But you're absolutely right. The way the new owners came in and manipulated it, and that's why they told the people in charge as well about the issues themselves, to make sure that it didn't come out later on that they were hiding it. They from day one have been very, very clever about how they've worked this situation, knowing that by coming out, by making sure, like you've just said, that there was money in the bank to cope with any issues. They've got away with the whole thing, and yet they've won trophies, and the success of those trophies have snowballed into other trophies and buying better players and having money and having stature and getting sponsorship deals. And those things are like, it snowballs one into the other, doesn't it? There's no way of measuring success and where success can take you. And that's completely the opposite of what they've done to us and what they've done to Forest and what they still continue to do to clubs like Sheffield Wednesday, and where they're saying, well, that was under a different owner. Well, they don't seem to care about that for other clubs yet. Clubs like Chelsea, who are seems to be one of the big clubs, they just get away with it all the time.
I mean, the thing was, the podcast, I think it's called The Boardroom, and one of the guys on it actually worked for Chelsea during the time that was involved, and basically said there's under no circumstances did he know anything about it, and he wouldn't have allowed anything like that to happen. And I actually take on board what he said. But he actually came out and said he cannot believe the fact that they weren't point sanctioned. And he did cite Everton Forest. And as I say, there was the three levels of sanctions that they mentioned. And basically all of them aspire to absolutely nothing. Yeah. The only one that might hit them slightly is the 9-month ban on the academy player transfers. Yeah,
and they'll find a way around that as well. They'll probably send them over to Strasbourg or somewhere.
Yes.
That's all they'll do. They'll just palm them off to somebody else. They'll buy them under the Blue Co banner, put them on loan at someone else, whether it be Swansea or a Strasbourg or whatever, and then bring them in after 9 months. That, with the multi-club and the way they're doing it, Chelsea have got this all shown up. That this Ted Bowley has looked into football, seen exactly where all of the nooks and crannies are, and has worked it perfectly, and he's getting away with it hand over fist. He's obviously worked by giving out long contracts to players, has worked out how to get round PSR as well, and he's making a mockery of all these decisions, and everyone else will start doing it. And all it'll mean is that no one will get done for anything, because they've worked out how to bend the rules and making sure they don't break the rules.
Yeah, I mean, it'll work out as it has done with all the Chelsea teams. They do it, and then they close that loophole.
Yeah, of course.
So nobody else can do it. Because they did that with the sailing with the women's team. They've done it with the hotels and all of that. So it is. It's not unexpected, but still, like I think one of you mentioned earlier on, is that I don't know, they will get away, and I think we should all go with our pink cards on Saturday.
Yeah, have you still got your pink card, take it?
I've still got my pink card.
Yeah, I've got one
with me on Saturday. But yeah, I mean, it's a shame that Masters is still in place because I mean his position was untenable after his dealings with ourselves and Forest. And I'm sorry, but this is even worse in my eyes. He should not be allowed anywhere near the Premier League.
Well, unfortunately, he hasn't upset the right people, though. He's only upset Everton and he's only upset Forest. He hasn't upset anyone who actually cares about his position. The people who care about his position are people like Chelsea, and let's see what happens to Forest. But they're the people who, they're not bothered because they probably think he's doing a good job because they're getting kept out of trouble.
They interviewed him, didn't they? It wasn't the Premier League per se that interviewed him. It was the Sky Six.
Yeah.
So it was them that did the interviews, and it was them that basically I assume recommended appointments. But for all intents and purposes, it was the Sky Six that appointed him.
Yeah, it's just a sad position they've got them. They've by threatening to leave the Premier League, they've managed to basically get full control over the Premier League.
Yes.
And it's the same with the Champions League as well. The Champions League now is a de facto Super League, and that's having a knock-on effect to all the fixtures in this country and the amount of games that are getting played in midweek. That affects clubs like us because we seem to be playing more and more midweek games, and it's all because those clubs are in the Champions League. We've now got like basically 5 positions in the Champions League. We've had 6 positions this season, and all that's going to happen is that's just going to continue more and more, and clubs like Everton, if we're not in Europe, are going to be playing more and more fixtures outside of what we see as the traditional kick-off days and kick-off times to accommodate those other clubs. And the likes of Liverpool, City and Chelsea have probably not played as many Saturday 3 o'clock kickoffs in the whole entirety of the whole of the Premier League than they have this season, because again the Premier League bends over backwards to make sure they play at 3 o'clock on a Saturday so it doesn't disturb their Champions League games on a Wednesday and a Tuesday. So, and it's us who are ending up playing the Monday night games and the whatever it is, the 5:30 games or the 8 o'clock games on a Saturday, and it's us who are feeling that effect, that we're the ones who are becoming disenfranchised with going the game because our fixtures are getting spread all over the place. And as I said, it's to accommodate those clubs.
Yes. Anyway, Pat,
thanks, Keith. Great call.
So, great show, and keep it up.
Thank you, my friend. Speak to you again soon.
Cheers.
See you.
Bye.
Bye. There you go. Good call from Keith. You can get in touch as well if you want to by giving us a link. Click on the link in the description, whether you're a member on YouTube or whether you are a Toffee TV Premium member. Got about 18 minutes to go because these two boys are going to watch Everton in the under-21s tonight. Dortmund, are you looking forward to it?
I am. It's nice to German team. Obviously, isn't far from home for me, especially Dortmund. So, be nice to see them play Everton. Good day for it as well. A lot of buzz around under 21s, under 18s. Braden Graham.
Well, you have both been to see the under 21s before, haven't you?
Yeah.
This season. I mean, just for people out there who've heard the Braden Graham buzz or have seen the goals. I mean, where do you think he actually is?
What do you mean where?
Well, I know where he is. He's in Walton tonight, but where do you think he is from the first team?
I think
because he's not a centre forward, is he?
No, I see a lot of similarities in him as in Asnu, as in technically very good, just a bit lightweight.
Yeah,
but he plays in a position where you can get away with it more. Yeah, attacking as to defending. I think though he's doing it for the under 21s. So next step is either a loan somewhere or minutes with the first team. I wouldn't, if we were in the cup, or if we were now still playing if we played a League 2 side now in the FA Cup, he'd play. He'd be on the bench, probably get on.
Do you think?
We're 2-3-0 up.
I don't think he would.
I mean, he almost got on against Sunderland. So
Yeah, but that's because James nearly got on against Sunderland. I mean, we just had no. Yeah, he was there. He was ready to go. We had no. Let's remember when we played Sunderland, we had no players. We had no players. Remember the subs who actually got on.
Yeah.
One of them made history by playing Sunderland again in the FA Cup, which is mad because I thought players got cup tied.
True. Yeah. I don't know. I just think he's. You would say he's the best player for the under-21s. Yeah. So I can see him.
I thought it was interesting. I don't know if you watched the interview that came out that Baz done with Paul Tate, but he spoke about Braden Graham saying how his attitude is like impeccable.
Yeah.
Like, he's always the first one out and he's the last one out. He does all these extra stuff.
Yeah.
And that like his mentality and how he sort of works on himself and treats like players around him and stuff is like he couldn't have asked any better. And he's got all the physical attributes, being able to finish, he's quick and stuff. But all the stuff that you need, sort of personality-wise, he's got that as well. And I thought it was interesting. He spoke loads about him. He played senior football, didn't he, when he was 15?
Yeah.
In a league where, and I'm not gonna pretend to know what like he played like, but to just be able to do that anyway, is sort of admirable, innit? And I think next season's a big one. I don't think he deserves minutes right now on the first team, just purely for the fact that we've seen him and he's a bit slight at the minute. And you were speaking before on the show about like Tyler Diblin and players like that, and like they look like kids. They're not like big-old men yet, like ready to jump into it.
Yeah.
And so I think pre-season will be like a good one to assess him properly, and he can go and work on himself, put on that bit more muscle, and then he's still only 17, and then you can look at loans, whether it's League 2, League 1, Championship, I don't know. But I think he's definitely an exciting player, and I think what makes him exciting is that he's exactly what Everton's first team needs right now, where it's just someone who plays out wide, and is very direct with the ball and is fast. And that's why people are excited about him mostly. Yeah,
I think I've only watched him in the flesh at the test events at Hill Dickinson. And I remember someone saying to me, tapping me on the shoulder and saying, "What do you think?" Because they were playing Bolton's like first team, but like the reserves of the first team. And I just said, "There's only one player in this Everton team who's going to make it, and it's Braden Graham." And he looked at me like a little bit. I was like, "None of them are going to make it. They're not. A lot of them are like 19, 20." And there's like talk about people like Reece Welsh and people like that. It's like they're not going to make it. They're just too far down the line. This kid's got a couple of years in the development stage. And hopefully, he's gone from being under 18s player to under 21s player and scoring goals in under 21s, scoring in the youth team. He's gone very, very quickly. And I think if he can get a League One move for next season, somewhere where he's going to play though every single game. Yeah. Now everyone might say, "No, we play." If you want that, it might be League Two, but that's fine. If it's League Two and it's somewhere like Aki, who's got the manager's got good connections with Everton, used to coach at Everton, then I think that would be a really good breeding ground for him, where he's playing against physically strong men, and he's going to play. Because they're a team, someone like Atkinson Stanley, forget about like all the polish of like, when people like going on your loan to Europe and all that kind of thing. He needs somewhere where he's going to play, even if it's for like 4 months. Yeah, he's going to play week in and week out. Aki haven't got loads of money, and he'll play week in and week out, and he'll score goals, and he'll grow in both ways. Physically he'll grow, but he'll grow as a player, and he takes that professionalism that you've just been talking about there, takes that professionalism with him, and people start like talking about him of like what as a player and stuff like that. And then he comes back, and Harrison Armstrong obviously went to Derby, didn't he? Did he go anywhere? Preston? No, we went to Derby first. Derby. But did he go? He didn't go anywhere before Derby though, did he? So we went to Derby last season, done really well for him second half of the season.
Just them two.
And then this season went to Preston, and Preston seemed, I don't know whether it's a coincidence. Alex will get you on now, mate. Don't know whether it's a coincidence, but Preston have fallen to bits since Alison Armstrong's come back. Proper fallen to bits. Now, it might just be a coincidence, but he was a major part of their team. And now he's a part of Everton's squad. So let's hope he goes and does something. Right, let's get Alex on.
How we doing, boys?
Doing well, mate. How are you?
Yeah. How was your run at the weekend, Ped?
Wasn't too bad, mate. Wasn't too bad. 34k, just a little walk in the park. Now it seems for me, good self. But no, it was good, mate. It was good.
The Everton Forrest Gump. Fantastic.
Well, I'll take that, mate. I'll take that.
I'm sorry I'm a bit late today. I thought I didn't realise it started at 4. But yeah, look, I just wanted to. It was a weird week in football since we last spoke, huh? I'm sure maybe there'll be some replication of stuff that was discussed earlier, but it was like 87 minutes. Everything in the world felt normal.
Yeah.
And then like after the game, it was not much said about what happened to Taki and Branthwaite, which felt weird. Then there was all this stuff with Tieno Barry.
Yeah.
And I feel a bit mixed about that because I'll be honest with you, I took my 8-year-old son to the Fulham game away, and we couldn't get tickets in the away end, and we sat in the home end, and we didn't have any Everton stuff on, and I said to him before we got into the game, there's no cheering, there's no singing, there's nothing. We just sit there and watch the game. When Fulham scored, we stood up. When Everton scored, we sat down. Because at the end of the day, you're there to watch the game, you're there to go to a different ground. It was our decision that we couldn't get in. And I believe there's a responsibility to, at the end of the day, we're not going to cause trouble for people. But if you're a home fan, you pay your money as a season ticket holder or not, and you don't expect to have away fans anywhere near it. But there's a responsibility. But we made that decision to be there, right? I sat there with my 8-year-old son and said, I think this is going to be a good game today. Taki looks on it. I said that, and I whispered it to my son, and the old lady in front tried to get us kicked out in 20 minutes into the game. We didn't say a thing. We had the steward come over my son didn't have an Everton shirt on, he just had a blue T-shirt on. He tried to take him to get his jacket off, and I was like, wait a second, this is ridiculous. So I feel there's an over exaggeration to that. I think people need to respect that. But at the end of the day, if you're friends of an Everton player in the Everton end, we don't know I don't know exactly what happened there, but it seems ridiculous. It seems like there's no responsibility. What I'm trying to say is, myself and my son were in the Fulham end, and we understood the role that we had to play in that game. Yeah.
There's rules. There's an etiquette.
Correct. And it's sad that we're not a sport perhaps like other sports where it does commingle, and as core fans leave the stadiums in the future, maybe that will change for the good and the bad, right? But the point was, I find it bonkers that an Everton player could find tickets for his friends to be in the Everton away end, and they wouldn't have the decency and respect to just support their friend. Yeah. Regardless of whether Everton fans overreacted, and it was too much, I think that's a different topic. I think the reality is, though, you just know the etiquette. We all know it. You don't have to be. You don't have to read a document to say this is how you react in the stand. And I thought that was really unsavoury, and I thought that it's just not becoming of an Everton player to do that, and then to come out and blame the Everton fans for it. I thought was just nuts. And then fast forward 2 days later, and you get Chelsea. It's just, I don't know. Like, part of me feels we just look ahead. For 87 minutes, we were right in that game, and all those players should take a lot of respect from that. But then I look at the Chelsea stuff, and I'm like, I genuinely thought after I read it and saw it, and the fact that it was a sanction, in fact it's a sanction, is effectively a handshake between the Premier League and Chelsea. When we got done for our points, it actually exposed us for, we had to settle with what, Leeds, Burnley, more? Was there more?
Go on, sorry, what was that in reference to?
my understanding of it is because
being
Everton,
sued.
because
Sorry,
we were effectively charged for something.
Yeah.
We were then exposed, saying, "Well, you've been found guilty of doing something. Therefore, we feel we have a legal right against you for fines, right?" And we had to pay settlements to Leeds and Burnley, right?
It does seem that way, yeah.
In what Chelsea have done with the Premier League, it's like we haven't actually. There's no admission necessarily of wrongdoing from the Premier League, although Chelsea have obviously come out and said it happened under the previous guys. It's more of it's a settlement. So there's no rights now for any of the other Premier League teams to go, well, this is a bit of a dodge, guys. Like, so I just find it, honestly, I find it nuts. And my feeling yesterday when I read it all, I thought, do you know what? I wish those 6 teams in the breakaway had just gone and done it. I just wish they'd gone.
Yeah, I do, mate. I wish it. We said at the time, me and Baz, I had no issue with them leaving the Premier League, and I know lots of people felt like it would all come tumbling down. My only worry then it was happening was, I was worried about, obviously we were trying to build a stadium, and I was worried how that would affect, if they did leave, how them leaving would affect the Premier League, and how, if that would have an effect on income and money, therefore that would affect the stadium. But I'll be honest, if those 6 teams wanted to leave, I would have no problem, because at the moment, they have the best of both worlds at the moment. They now have all the power in the Premier League. And we know that because when they voted in for international money, those clubs get more money than we do, which is a total nonsense. They're on TV more because someone decides they're going to be on TV more. They get more money for that. And they get to play in the Champions League. So they get to get the money from the Champions League, the expanded Champions League, because UEFA bottled it because of the Super League. So they get to play in the Champions League, which is a de facto Super League, bring all that money back to our league, and all the rest of us are fighting for scraps. And at least if they'd all gone, we'd have our own competition. Now that competition might be devalued slightly, but at least we'd all have an opportunity to win that trophy fair and square, or go see how far we could go in that trophy. Now we all have a thing where we all basically sit there going, we know the rules are bent. Chelsea have proved it this week with the Premier League, and we're all sitting here going, what can we do about it? And people wonder why people are so disenfranchised with football when the prices are going up. And we're told the prices are going up because clubs will go, well, it's we can't compete with these clubs, and because of the rules with financial fair play and stuff, we've got to get the money from outside, and the money from the outside is the fans. So we're trying to keep up with clubs who get their money from the Champions League, and that comes from the money we pay to go and watch our team. And it just, you fully understand why people are walking away from football now.
You're not going to get that. You're not going to get, the teams going deep in the Champions League. We're talking 100 million, right? You're not going to get that from making a Castor shirt 10 quid more expensive for a fan. And it's silly, right? But then the other side to it, I think, is like we're now in a world where certain teams, Chelsea, City, they're going to have asterisks over their league titles, whether their fans like it or not, right? My view is, well, if they've got asterisks over their names, why does that devalue? That devalues the product in of itself. So if they left, then you look at the league now, and I genuinely believe, not just because obviously Everton have had a better season, but you look at the last few seasons, you think Newcastle looks strong, Villa looks strong, Brighton, Bournemouth, Everton, Fulham. There's teams there, and it was great last season. Wasn't it, how refreshing was it to see Newcastle and Palace go and do well in the cups? And I just believe really strongly that if the Premier League are under such duress, and Ped, you talked about it yesterday in your the podcast you did for the Everton members about the fact that you go on Sky Sports and there's certain considerations around what you should and shouldn't be saying, which in of itself is just like it is a bit of a cartel, right? And my view on it is, if we're in this situation where the Premier League have to make dispensations to keep teams like Chelsea and City happy, when you can't tell me that 50 million quid in agent and players. Let's not forget, Hazard was bought for 30 million, sold for 85 million, right? So there's profits through the other end too. You cannot tell me that is not helping the team on the pitch, which was the exact argument as to why we got points in the first place. Everton had an unfair advantage on the pitch. Well, goodness me, if you've got 35 player transfers and illegal agent fees, and that's not making you a better team on the pitch, I genuinely don't know what is. So I don't know. I just thought about it last night. I thought, if this comes around again, let them go, because I really do believe there's a great product there now with teams like Brentford and Everton and others, and also the teams that came up as well, like Sunderland have done a good fist at it this year.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be amazing? How good a league would that be?
Well,
because then they're all equals then, and we can, and then it's like, who runs their team better? Who recruits players look better? And you know what? It wouldn't be too bad for the academy systems either, would it? You wouldn't see Man City coming along and poaching your 3 best players, by the time they turn 16, 17. So I don't know. I feel we're at that point where it's almost like the best role that you could hire for in the Premier League right now is a chief common sense officer. Because if there was a person in the Premier League, they go, lads, seriously, wait a second. We've just been given the runaround by Leicester because they were able to move their financial year by a month. We've whacked Everton. We've whacked Nottingham Forest. We're now over 3 years into 115 charges for City that we're probably going to get done on, and Chelsea have just got away with one. When their excuse was, "Oh, really sorry, we know we'd done it, but it was the other guy, so it's okay if you let us off." Like, there must be someone in the Premier League going, "This looks really bad. We need to do something about it," and they haven't. So I don't know. I mean, I'm glad we're out of all the points deductions piece, but I just feel it sends the wrong message to all these teams like Everton. It's like, do you know what? If your financial accounts aren't perfect, we're going to come after you, because we have to have strict rules. And Villa, you can't overspend, so you have to sell your players. But do you know what? If you just didn't put them on your books and did it fraudulently, no worries. We'll just give you a fine.
Yeah. Well, that's it, mate, and that's the top and bottom of it now. Every single football club now in the Premier League knows that it's allowed to break the rules, because the punishment will be a fine. Because Chelsea have done it now, and the fact is, that's it. Anyone who gets gets done for it will get a big lawyer. The lawyer will go through what's happened with Chelsea with a fine tooth comb, and they will have no issue now going, the only thing you can give us is a fine and a suspended sentence, and that's the end of it. So the days of not doing something, like a lot of people worried, remember the last couple of years where no one was spending any money because they were terrified of getting a points deduction? That's all over now. So I think what you'll see now is Newcastle, Villa, Chelsea as well, everyone else will go big again, because they'll be like, if it's a fine, we're happy. Newcastle will be all day with a fine. They're not going to be bothered. A points deduction is one thing, but a fine is just, they'll be all day with that. So,
and you know, the bit that's sickening about that was in the Everton report. It was, we can't just fine these owners because they've got deep pockets, so they won't feel the pain of the fine. And to your point, I actually think it's worse. I think it's more, do you know what? We can't do it wrong on the books, but if we do it fraudulently, even if I mean, if you think about what Everton did, Mashiri could have just put it under the carpet and put money in an account for freaking, and we wouldn't have got any points at all. Look, it's immaterial. We stayed up, but I believe that what happened there probably put Everton back 4 or 5 years, because we couldn't recruit players, we couldn't sign players. Look at the players that we were in the market for. Like, we were, I mean, you never know exactly, but there was a lot of talk about Adam Wharton.
Yeah.
We had to give that one up. There was other players that we had to give up on because we just couldn't make the deals happen and get approval from the Premier League. So look, the whole thing just stinks. And I don't know, like I said, it's just a weird week of football. You're sitting there 8-7 minutes and you're like, this is pretty good. And then 5 days later, you just feel our striker's gone and done something weird and he shouldn't have done. Our manager's didn't explain why our 2 best centre-backs weren't playing. If it was an injury, just say he's injured. And then, the team we're playing this Saturday, have just literally got away with one.
Yeah.
When we got 10 points.
That's it, mate. Yeah, and Njayan and Adesanya Gay are not winners of the AFCON anymore.
Yeah,
I mean, what a week!
God,
what a week, mate!
I totally forgot
what a week
about
they've had! What a week they've had! So nice one, Alex. Thanks for the call,
Cheers,
mate.
boys.
All right, that's it. We're done. As I've said, these two gentlemen have to get off. They're going to get to Walton Park to check out Everton versus Borussia Dortmund in the the quarter-final?
Yeah.
Quarter-final of the Premier League International Cup. Take your pink cards and boo. To get down there to Walton Park with your pink cards right now and boo the anthems when they come on. Be hilarious. Right, we'll be back tomorrow at 1 o'clock on YouTube. Catch us all then. See you later. Bye.